Okay, today we're going to learn how to flash using Heimdall. Now, it doesn't matter if I'm using Linux right now. The process stays the same. The only thing that will matter is whether or not you have the correct drivers installed for Windows or Mac, and I suggest you refer to where you got Heimdall from in order to get the instructions on how to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to boot my tablet into download mode, and that's holding the volume down and the power on until you get the triangle, little droid digging, and it says download, do not turn off target. Connect to the computer, and there you go. And that's where I'm at right now. The next process would be to open up Heimdall. Again, whether you're on Mac or PC or Windows or Linux, hell, even OS2 Warp, if you even found the versions of that, fine. Get Heimdall open. So that's what we're going to do. Yes, I have a sick, twisted sense of humor when it comes to how I name my computer. It's kind of funny. Okay, now that we have it, we have Heimdall open, and follow my mouse cursor, and this is what you'll see. You'll see, unlike Odin, which is a one-step process, to me, Heimdall is much easier to use. It allows me to flash just the kernel, just the recovery. Maybe I boned my my file system in trying to do something new, and this program will allow me to flash just these items, and it is an invaluable tool just for that purpose alone. So when it comes to the Samsung Galaxy Tab for the CDMA, I personally stay away from a few things, and that's because I've used them in the past. These options I'm going to discuss, I've used them in the past, and I've bricked my tab. The PIT, repartition, I stay away from it. On a CDMA level, I stay away from it. I have bricked a tab before with that. And when I mean brick, I mean hard brick. I stay away from the bootloaders. We are not the GSM guys where we can change bootloaders. We're stuck. We have a Sprint tab, we have a Verizon tab, that's it. There's no reason to change the bootloader. Stay away from the modem. Again, this is something that you just do not touch. We have, again, a Sprint modem, a Verizon modem. If you have a Verizon tablet, you're obviously using a Verizon modem, which is bundled with it if you're on the Sprint, etc. If you want your Sprint tab to work on Verizon, I have no idea how to do that. So, I'm ready to flash. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open up wherever that folder is. Right here. What I have is my folder of sources, and we are going to open up. We're going to do the Verizon one, even though they're the same. You see, I have the cache, database data, factory file system. That would be the kernel. That's recovery. And that's parameter. Now, regarding the kernel and the recovery, sometimes, which is actually read 95% of the time, you really just use a Z image, which has both. But being that this specific build of the kernel and recovery are separate from each other, we therefore are going to have two separate files. If you go back and you look at the Verizon, again, same thing. Kernel, recovery, parameters, factory, database, and cache. Okay, so we will go over here, open it up. That's what we have. Now, to make things a little easier for you, we're going to take and we're going to browse for the factory file system. And I'm going to go ahead and choose factory file system. You can double click it or you just hit open. Doesn't matter. Now I'm going to go to the kernel, and I'm going to choose my kernel. I'm going to go to parameters, and I'm going to choose parameters. I'm going to go to cache, and I'm going to choose cache. I'm going to go to database data, same thing. And in this event, since this specific build has a separate kernel from a separate recovery, I'm going to choose the recovery. And then all you do, click Start. And I will show you as soon as it's done. Let's let it do its thing. Now, some other builds that we have here that will show, oh boy, I gotta think here. Let's see here. I couldn't even begin to think where I need to go without wasting your time on using the same Z image for both kernel and recovery. Just go with it. And we're waiting for it to complete. The file system takes the longest. Sometimes the database and the cache can take just as long. Once it's done, especially with my builds, I suggest as soon as it is done and as soon as it says finish and as soon as you see that your tablet has successfully rebooted and you see a Samsung logo, you need to immediately go into recovery, and that is by holding the up volume button and the power button until it shuts off and then comes back and you see the Samsung logo. You let your finger off of the volume, or not the volume, I'm sorry, you let your finger off of the power button. Keep holding your finger on the volume up button until it boots into recovery. You immediately, before booting into it for the first time, you wipe data, factory reset, wipe cache, then you can reboot. Okay? And do this every time you flash, especially when reflashing a new kernel. Especially since doing that. Otherwise you will boot loop, guaranteed. Okay? So since we are uploading the database data, there you go, kernel, almost there. It's done. Tablet's going to reboot. I'm going to immediately, as you can't see what I'm doing right now. So I just now forced it to stop. There, we're in recovery. I'm going to scroll down, wipe data, factory reset. Since this is a stock recovery for now, need to pay attention to the instructions. Wipe cache, rebooting. Now, I have unplugged the tablet, so there's nothing plugged in, and I'm going to go to Heimdall and I'm going to pretend that I'm going to flash again. Failed to detect compatible device means it does not recognize the tablet due to A, the tablet's not connected, B, no drivers. The machine cannot see, detect, or shake hands with the tablet. Make sure your drivers are up to date, and you will have no problem flashing any of my work. Thank you very much. You have a good day. Any questions? Well, you can't call me. Have a good one.